Hey guys, how's everybody? Today's episode, you guys are going to be seeing it a little bit later than usually. Well, this whole week I didn't record anything. I didn't do anything. I basically just focused on my work, on job. I did over 70 hours this week and I'm pretty tired. But we have the Dodge Ram back at the shop. Like I said, we are planning a trip to Utah. Okay, we basically have to get the truck ready so we can go to Utah. We already put that box in the back, and let me re-show you guys that just in case you guys didn't see. So we have this box right here, and that's basically a little toolbox. I have to take tools, I have to take extra parts because the part we're going to Utah, I want to go off-roading. I got some new parts off of Amazon, and this is what I'm going to be installing in this video today. So if you've ever dealt with a Dana 44 like this Dodge Ram, I believe also some Jeeps have it as well, the Jeep Cherokees and all that. Well, I found this on Amazon, okay? I don't know how well it is, but I will be testing it out before we go to Utah. Now, it is made in China. It is made in China, but a lot of good parts, a lot of good tools I've actually bought over the years have come from China. So I got high hopes for it. So this Dana 44 actually has a problem, and I have another Dana 44 sitting, and it's waiting to go into the Mercedes-Benz, the Mad Max 300 right here. It's called a CAD, C-A-D. So this solenoid right here is giving me grief, okay? I put the truck on four-wheel drive and it does not go on four-wheel drive. So there is some vacuums that run along here. Oh, look at that big old rock right here. Well, seeing that rock makes me think that we probably have a leak somewhere. And it's all right. Even if we do have a leak, I want to be able to replace this part because I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust anything with vacuum, especially when I'm gonna go off-roading and I need it to be reliable. Man, I can see I've beaten the crap out of this thing. Look at all that. That is from rocks, because this is all metal. So I don't really know what the problem is. We'll diagnose it first before I even uninstall it. But I know that that's the issue. The other day we were actually climbing up a hill, and I told my brother-in-law, go ahead, put it on four-wheel drive. Let's test it out. He's never been in a four-wheel drive vehicle, so I told him throw it on four-wheel drive. And he was spinning the back tires, but not spinning the fronts. So I'm pretty sure that the front was not engaging, and the main culprit is always on these axles. Like I was saying, I got this from Amazon, and it comes from our friends in China. And it's basically a delete kit. So check this out. It's the whole housing, and it basically comes with everything so that you can be able to mount it inside of your truck. And instead of being vacuum, it's mechanical now. So it gives me a better range, so that I can make sure that it is locked into four-wheel drive. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the keys real quick. I'm gonna show you guys how it does not lock into four-wheel drive. So with all that being said, right, we know we have to replace that. And well, not we know, I haven't diagnosed it yet, but I am gonna diagnose it before, so you guys can see the whole video. But we do need to replace it. I want to make sure that this truck is running great. I want to put something that's manual and not vacuum. So on this episode, we're going to be changing that vacuum system to a mechanical one. This is Rusty Fireworks. Let's get that started by dropping this intro. And now let me show you guys. I'm going to go ahead and grab the keys for the truck so I can show you guys the little light. There's a little light that's supposed to come on when the truck is engaged in four-wheel drive. All right. So right here, there's a little light. It'll say four-wheel drive on there, okay? Put on neutral. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and engage. 2 low, 4 low. Put it on drive. Put it on reverse. And as you guys can see, the little light has not come on. Why? Because we are not in four-wheel drive. So yeah, it just won't engage to four-wheel drive. The little light never came on, the one that goes right there. But yeah, there's supposed to be a light there. It does not come on. The four-wheel drive is not engaging. So this whole kit is basically made so that it could actually combat that. And I'm looking at it right now, and it has a sensor on there, which is pretty cool to me. No instructions, of course. There's never any instructions. So you guys and I, we're gonna figure it out together. And I appreciate you guys are gonna watch this video, okay? And I'm gonna follow some instructions online, probably on some Reddit post. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. But first, I'm gonna go get beat up in MMA. Give me a second. All right, y'all, whole nother day. I just want to show you guys something. I'm gonna hang out with my wife, so I'm just gonna show you guys what the actual problem is. So the whole reason why the four-wheel drive was not working, yeah. So these are the vacuum hoses, right? These right here are the vacuum hoses that run. Check it out right here at the top. I move it a little bit. See that broken hose? And it's because it's hard plastic. Of course they're gonna break, especially when it's flexing. The other day I was driving by the train tracks, and there was big rocks everywhere. Everything was getting scratched up. Look at the metal, it got all scratched up right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw some hose on it, and then I'll show you guys a little light that I was talking about, the four-wheel drive light. All right, y'all, fix the little issue, put the little hose. Got my wife and her favorite dog. This is Tails. I say hi, Tails. Right. At least I'm her favorite husband. All right, so here we go. Reverse. And then neutral. Okay, so here's the light that I was telling you guys about, okay? You'll see it right now. Look at that, four-wheel drive. So we're gonna go test it out in that little mountain of dirt. The little mountain of doom. So there's a four-wheel drive light, and it will slowly go up. So without the four-wheel drive, the truck, we'd have to give it like RPMs for it to actually go up those little obstacles. But with the four-wheel drive, it's like nothing. And then watch, took it off four-wheel drive. There it is. Disengages. So, but yeah, vacuum controlled is never better. So once I start putting the whole system, I'll show you guys that. That'll be another day, so give me a second. All right, y'all, it's a whole nother day. I'm wearing Peck Brothers today. Here's the Dodge Ram. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the piece that goes on the axle, the CAD. I forget what it stands for. I'll throw it right here if any of you guys wonder. I actually fixed that little hose. I've gone off-roading a couple of times already on the truck. It's working perfectly, but I still want to be able to just swap it out to manual, because if you're out there in the dunes and a hose rips, there's no bueno. So I'm gonna see first how long this thing is, see if I could even throw it inside of the cab. Okay, so I got the cable. It's pretty long, so check it out. It's at the top over here and it reaches all the way to the bottom. So it's a pretty long cable, and yes, my pants are all ripped up, don't worry about that. And then look, so to pull it out, you can't just pull it out. There's a red button at the top. You gotta press that button, and then it pulls out. Press the red button again, it pushes back in. So that's pretty cool. It's like a little safety mechanism so that accidentally somebody doesn't just pull it out. Almost hit the tire with my head. So there's a CAD system right there, and most likely this hose is gonna go right there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna route it, you know, give it same slack almost as this hose is right here. Probably give it a little bit more. route it up this way into the cab, somewhere in there. Make a hole of it somewhere in there. I'm gonna go up there and see where I can make that hole so I can actually start leading the cable downwards. Because that's always gonna be the first thing that you gotta do. Make a hole in the firewall. So I'm gonna make the hole somewhere right here, and then the cable, I'm gonna route it up here and be able to pull it out somewhere right here. But most likely the hole is gonna be somewhere right here. So yeah, so give me a second while I figure this out, and then I will get right back with you guys. So hey y'all, so check this out. So where this leads down to, this is actually the drain for the AC, and I'm thinking I can make the hole right below it, which would actually throw that hole right down here. And the CAD system is right here. Oh, right there. All right, y'all, check it out. I measured it out. That is 72 inches, and what I need is 52 inches. And I gave it a little bit extra. So I should have some slack on the cable based on my measurements, and I did measure twice. I'm not gonna cut the cable by the way, but I did measure twice. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some gloves because I'm going to MMA in a couple hours and I don't want to have dirty hands. All right, y'all, so here's the CAD system. It has this tiny little piece of metal, if you guys can hear that it protects, but it's really thin. I might make a new one so that I can protect the new piece. I don't want anything to hit it, or actually I might not even do that because it's mostly protecting these vacuum hoses. All right, here we go. There's that. It was already ripped. It was already ripped. No wonder it wouldn't hold sometimes. The four-wheel drive, it would actually like slip, and the little flashing light, it would actually come on and off. Take off there. There goes that. And then there's that. Oh, there's a gear oil right there. Here's the CAD system. I will show you guys this whole thing outside, but I do want to show you guys the sleeve in here. So check it out. This little mechanism right here, it spins this way, it brings it this way, and then it connects this drive shaft to this drive shaft. Oh, sorry. You guys are all crooked. So basically what the sleeve does is it grabs, it engages this little part, and it connects this drive shaft, this one right here, to this one. And it just goes this way, and you know, of course the tires got to spin a little bit, and then boop, it fully engages. So that's basically what that CAD system does. And it's almost like locking hubs. Not really. Everybody says, oh yeah, it's like locking hubs. It's not like locking hubs. Here is the gasket. They're usually, yeah, it's cork. They're usually a cork type of gasket, and that's basically the same gasket material that they actually gave you in this kit. And by the way, if you guys want to do this kit, I will link it in the description of this video below, so that you know, you guys can actually, if you guys have a vehicle like this, a lot of Jeeps have actually no, they give you a better gasket material than the cork one for the replacement. And as you guys can see, the holes do line up on it. They give you a mounting bracket so that you can be able to mount the cable if you want to mount the cable yourself. And it's, you know, with one little screw on there so you can mount it this way. I'm probably gonna make my own little box. Not sure yet if I will or not, but This to me looks pretty weak. I would love it if it was boxed in, like if it was welded boxed in or something, you know. And then they give you a sensor and everything so that you can actually connect the sensor and the light will actually turn on for you and everything. This is the old one, okay? We don't really need anything off of this one. The only thing we need out of here is the fork. That's all we need. And there's a couple of C-clips on here that you have to remove in order for this whole piece to just pop off, okay? And we're gonna need that right now because they give you a whole new piece. Check it out. They give you a whole new housing. So let me go ahead and remove the clips. I'm gonna show them to you guys. It should be 3 clips on this thing if I do remember it properly, but check it out, okay? Engages, disengages, engages, disengages, engages, disengages. And now you guys can see how weak that of a mechanism is. If there's any vacuum leak, which you shouldn't have, but if there is any vacuum leak, this thing is not going to engage properly. And if you need the 4-wheel drive to get out of a tight situation, you're not going to be able to engage it. It's better to have it manually, okay? In my personal opinion, it's better to have it manually. Here's the first clip. The first clip's all the way in the back. So I pried it off a little. I can't. You guys probably can't even see it. I pried it off just to the side a little bit. And now with the needle nose pliers, I'm just going to go ahead and grab it and slide it right out. There it is. There's one clip. Then I'm going to go ahead and you grab the whole fork and slide it out. And it won't slide the whole pin. It just slides out the fork. And then there's the other 2 clips right there. So now you grab the next one. And I like to put my hand on top of it like this as I'm prying out. Sometimes these like to come out with force. And if you're not careful, it'll pop off so fast, you won't even know where it went. There's the bigger clip. So it's always the small ones that like to struggle with you. That like to give you a hassle, but there it is. There's all 3 clips. And then once all that is removed, you just grab this piece and it comes off just like that. There's an O-ring right there. This O-ring is jacked up. No wonder it was leaking. Oh, they tried pulling silicone on it, around it, just for it to like close up. It didn't do it. It didn't do the job. Here's the fork. That's what we are ultimately looking for. If you can see this fork, you see how it looks? If you put it in the wrong way, this whole process is not going to work. So you want to be able to make sure that you're putting it in the right way, the right direction. So watch this, okay? This is how you know if you're putting it in right. It wouldn't be able to go like this because it would block. It has to go in like this. But yeah, so here we go. There's the whole shebang bang. Here is that whole mechanism I was telling you guys about. Watch this. Yeah. There's a leakage somewhere. I can taste the gear oil. Okay, so here we go. So there's the old one. And here is the new one, brand new. What's new, Scooby-Doo? Oh man, so I just realized something. There really is no way to take this off of the whole cable. So basically meaning that I should assemble this whole thing underneath the truck. So let me go and make the hole on the firewall first before I do any of this, and then I'll go ahead and assemble this whole thing in there. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and make the hole first. I double checked that this actually fit on there. I had to bend it a little bit, which is concerning that I was able to bend it by hand, but basically that's where it's gonna go, right there. And then I'm gonna write it down, but I'm also gonna Yeah, I'm gonna close this up, put another piece of steel right here, weld it on there, make sure that this does not ever bend out. Here's the bushing, and as you guys can tell, the bushing is lined. Well, there's a groove on there, but it's basically a 1/2 inch. So we're just gonna go ahead and drill first the pilot hole, and then we're gonna drill. All right, so check it out. There's the hole, and I already put the grommet on there. I had to use this. It's a 5/8 reamer drill bit, okay? And I didn't use it all the way. I practically went up to right here, and that's all I needed. And then yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put this away. Now we have to weld that piece that I was telling you guys about for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut something that'll fit this, weld it on there. All right, so let me go ahead and weld this. So check it out. This is the before, and then here's the after. All I had was green, so I had to paint it green. As you guys can see, I closed it up right here. I didn't close it up on this side. Only one side is needed, so that it gives it extra strength on that. I'm gonna wait for that to dry. Go ahead and grab the cable. All right, y'all, so check this out. It goes first where the mounting bracket is gonna be. First you put that in, okay? Then you put the grommet onto the actual cable. Then you feed the cable, and then you have to basically muscle the damn grommet through so that it'll block that hole. It's a whole ordeal, but it's got to get done. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish this through, fish it down to the bottom, and then we're gonna continue with the build. All right, y'all. So basically this is where it's fished in through, and it's kind of close to the brake hoses. Not too close though, but it is kind of close. And then once it fishes into the actual housing, it'll be away from the hoses because it's gonna fish in through here like that. So now basically I'm gonna go ahead and go bring the piece and throw it on here. I'm gonna make sure this is nice and clean, put some silicone maker on here. Just make sure that that gasket does sit on there properly. So give me a second. This doesn't take a long time, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some silicone maker already on this. Fish that in there already, like so. Then we're gonna put the tube, and I hope the camera is picking this up. Hold on. Okay, and then we're gonna fish this in through right there, like so. And then we're gonna, oh shoot, hold on. First is this nut. This nut is gonna go on here. And we're gonna go ahead and twist that in there. And then we're gonna fish this in. There's the two of them right there that you can see. I'm gonna go ahead and put one on there now. First two clips are in there. I don't know if you guys can see it through the camera, but as you guys can see, the two clips are on there already. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab it and push the cable. Went ahead and pulled the cable through, and now we can see the last clip right there. And it is, there it is. It's nice and secure, and that's what we want. And then now that this is threaded in there, we're gonna go ahead and close this up. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and grab the gasket. There's the gasket. Put the gasket on there. Aim it. And throw it in there. Oh, hold on. It's getting super windy outside. One. And then we're basically just gonna put this back on here, put a hose clamp on there, make sure that it doesn't leak out, make sure none of this leaks out, but there it is. I'm gonna grab this also. It comes with a little piece to be able to grab it on here, and that's what I'm gonna be able to put on the frame, like bring down the hose down a little bit, put it on the frame like this, that way that this stays on there and it does a nice big loop right here. But that's basically it. And then this sensor right here is only 2 wires, so I'm just gonna splice those wires into these little 2 pegs on the sensor over here, and that's basically it. And then of course on the inside, you just basically put the cable where you want it to go. But let me show you guys how it actually works, and you'll be able to hear it. When you push it in, you can hear it. It's hitting. But that's basically it with the cable all the way out. I mean, now I'm able to fish it and put it right there, and the cable will be right here. And then of course I'm gonna cinch it up here so that it's out of everybody's way, but that'll be for later on, and I will show you guys the finished product. But I'm gonna leave the video here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this quick little video. I know it took such a long time. It was basically 3 days of little filming here and there, and sorry I didn't have a video for you guys last week, and we're here now, and luckily I was able to finish it up for you guys. But yeah, if you guys want to be able to, if you guys have a Dana 44 like this axle and you guys want to buy something for now because you guys are planning on getting a Dana 60 like I am, this is a nice cheap little setup so that those vacuum hoses don't give you any trouble. Oh, by the way, you also got to cap those vacuum hoses on the top, and you're done with that. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cap them so that it doesn't give me any trouble codes or anything like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. If you guys want to get one of these things, it's on the description below. Go ahead and check it out. I love you guys. See you guys next time. Bye. All right, last thing I need to do is mount this thing